What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? BugaLuis here. Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to talk once again a match reaction of the game of Barcelona versus Villarreal at the Camp Nou, which ended 2-0 for Los Blaugranas from goals of Gerard Piqué and La Masia graduate Carles Aleñá. If by any means you're interested in cheap, reliable footballing kits, be sure to check out Antigua. Links are going to be in the description down below. They provide worldwide coverage, which is one of the best things I can recommend about them, as well as secure payment options to ensure you get the best service possible. You get the deal, you know the drill, but now let's get right into it. So the very first thing that I want to talk about is Ousmane Dembele, and most of you will want me to touch that upon right now, because for me he was the man of the match in this game, probably alongside someone like Gerard Piqué. I was really surprised to see, for instance, the players who were most involved during the game, and if we take a look at Rakitic, he had around 116 touches of the ball, but guess who was in second place? Ousmane Dembele with 107. Yes, that doesn't mean exactly that he made 107 passes, which, to be fair, he also made like 86. The thing about Ousmane Dembele was that a lot of the balls he drove them forward, he progressed the ball, he created space for his own, and that is something that, once again, I always comment on videos about Ousmane Dembele. He needs to improve that decision making, and in this game he really did that. He looked like a very mature player who understood what needed to be done, but most importantly, I think he's a player who now understands that the best way to progress in this team and obviously earn the respect of the fans and the manager is to do what he's supposed to do, what the manager tells him to do. Before we took a look at Ousmane Dembele, whenever he had the chance, he looked like he wanted to impress someone. But now he's just doing what he's supposed to do. And that's a very good thing for us, and obviously a very good thing for Ousmane Dembele. I'm very proud of his performance. He looked like a real deal, basically. Did you see that play he did to Pedraza, the left back for Villarreal? He cut inside 4 different times. Changed the direction 5 times. And the guy was like on his bed night. Like, he just sent him to sleep right away. That was one of the most craziest moments I've seen in a very long time. Not only because he did it once, but because he did it 4 times. So yeah. And now something else for me that is worth mentioning about Dembele is also his link-up play with Nelson Semedo. So right away, for me, Dembele is much a better player playing for the right. I feel that in that sense, he had a lot more ability to cut inside. He had the first 3 shots of Barcelona. 2 of them were actually on target for Dembele, so that's a very good return in my opinion. And that also allows, for instance, since both of them, Nelson Semedo and Dembele, have a lot of pace for the same side, it allows for Barcelona to have kind of like to leave left gaps when they're being counterattacked. In that sense, Nelson Semedo can cover up ground much faster than someone like Sergi Roberto. And even though someone like Nelson Semedo, you would associate him with like a more attacking player, he seems more defensively minded. And that's actually very good when you have someone so attacking like Ousmane Dembele. And some of you for Instagram were actually saying that they were surprised that Messi was having a rare off game. And to be honest with you, he wasn't. He still managed to have 6 shots on target, the most of the whole Barcelona team here on the field today. And that's a good thing, obviously, but I think that when you're grading and evaluating a player, you know, kind of rating him, his performance for a game, you don't only have to take into account how much he can do, but also how good the opposing team is trying to neglect him. So, for instance, in this game, Lionel Messi was completely covered up by Santiago Cáceres, another Argentinian who came from Vélez, if I'm not wrong. And Santiago Cáceres was also doing a very good job on Lionel Messi. We saw how he actually fouled him like, what, 4 or 5 different times, and it actually created a lot of problems for Messi. And that's something that I also talked to in my preview, which Villarreal did almost perfectly. Because if we take a look at how much was involved Messi during the actual play and not the finalizing moments of a situation, Messi only had the ability to connect with other players 42 times, which is very slow, taking into account that, once again, one of the worst players in the pitch, Rakitic, had 108 different passes. So it obviously managed for Messi to be a little less involved in this game. But once again, like I say, he could be off, but not because he was playing bad necessarily, but also because the Villarreal and Santiago Cáceres more particularly was playing an amazing game as well. So another player that we have to mention is Gerard Piqué. Gerard Piqué for me was one of the best players alongside Dembele and could also be a candidate for man of the match. He had 8 clearances on Barcelona's box, which I know some of you could say that is bad for us because we got a bad defense or we were bad trying to defend. But overall, 8 clearances for a defender, no matter what team, what situation, is very good. So, and adding that he also scored the goal, the first goal for Barcelona, I think that he earned himself the right to be one of the best players on the field tonight. So overall for me, Gerard Piqué also a very good performance for him and probably the best, like I said, during this season. So I'm going to put him up there as well on the poll for you to vote whether you believe he's the man of the match. So now I already talked about the players that I want to mention, but let's talk a little bit about the first half and how actually the game developed. So in the case of Barcelona, we started off very, very well. Like I said, Ousmane Dembele, the best player probably on the field today. And we almost saw all the play for the right-hand side. If we take a look at heat maps and stuff like that, I'm going to see if I can find some of those to put it on the screen right now. Most of our play was taking place for the right-hand side. Most of the creation was going for the left, but the realization and the almost kind of like resolution of those plays was taken by Dembele and also by Messi, but also for that right hand side. So I think that was very clever for Barcelona to do. They obviously have a makeshift left back in Alfonso Pedraza, something that Villarreal, I think, in my opinion, should take care of because in one, Jaume Costa is much better for me, and even though he has been playing most of the away games for Villarreal, it was surprising that he didn't start. I actually thought in my preview that I was kind of making like a wild card putting Pedraza in there because Jaume Costa has almost started every single match away for Villarreal, like I said. So yeah, in that sense, we were playing really good. We saw the 3 first shots from Dembele. We saw Dembele that was very open, very clear. And Messi as well, Coutinho the same. But something that I was surprised is how high up the pitch Barcelona lost the ball. We lost the ball around, 17 times? Take it the 2 that we lost on our own box. Make it 15 times that we lost the box in Villarreal's side of the pitch. That's not acceptable, really, to be honest with you. We should be able to finalize those plays. If we are, instead of losing the ball and losing possession, it's much better to have the ability to finish those plays. And that is something that Barcelona should be much better at doing that at this stage of the season. It opens up completely for counterattacks for Villarreal. That's why we see so many times that people say that Barcelona's defense is not doing too good. That's because we succumb so much to counterattacks. And once again, that links back to our loss of possession. And those loss of possession actually came, if I'm not wrong, let me put up here on my chart, goes out to people like, once again, Dembele. But, well, I do agree with Dembele that he needs to try out different things. Trickery, that's his style of play, so I don't really blame him for that. But if you take a look at other players like Busquets lost the ball 3 times in this match. Rakitic also lost it 2. Coutinho lost it 3 times. And Messi lost it 2 times, Malcolm 1, Alenya 1, but that was later on in the second half. So you can see how many of an attacking players actually either one were pressured too hard by Villarreal, which all favor to them, they did good in this game, or also did so many different plays and passes that were just intercepted so easily. So that's the problem right now. We're losing the ball too high up the pitch, and then we're allowing for people like Samu with his space just to completely blast through us. And as we tend to have Jordi Alba and Nelson Semedo so high up the pitch, that allows for a lot of gaps and spaces in behind. And that's why also Villarreal were able to have 12 shots on this game. 12 shots. We've been very, very lucky to actually end that bad run of clean sheets because they could have easily gotten a goal today and Villarreal really deserved the goal. It's been already, I think, like 11 games in Marc Andre ter Stegen hasn't kept a clean sheet, so it's good that we did. But man, oh man, it could have actually happened in this game as well. So we're very lucky that we must be very careful about how we control the ball, especially in the final third, because once we lose it there, then it's going to be completely woeful for Barcelona to come back and defend. Since Vidal was also very high up the pitch, trying to find space for Messi and trying to create it for Messi, we just didn't have someone so solid in the defensive line. I would have said so much better for, once again, Ernesto Valverde to take out Rakitic, put Vidal in the position of Rakitic to cover kind of that middle of the line to own side of Barcelona. I think that would have been the perfect role for Vidal in this game, and then have someone like Alenya or Denis Suarez from the start to be able to do that role that Vidal was doing in this game for Messi. That would have been much better because Vidal, we know he can cover much more ground than Rakitic. So in the second half, I gotta be honest with you, I was a little bit scared. I saw Villarreal just changing up formation. Once they included Carlos Bacca into the field, they shifted to a 4-4-2, and then they obviously you could see that they had a goal in them. You really could see that Villarreal could score in this game. And I was worried for that, because if they got the 1-1 draw, for them it would be fine. For us, I was scared because we needed to get this win no matter what. Sevilla play after us. They're going to play against Deportivo Alavés, if I'm not wrong. And if they get that win, they're going to go first in the table. So we had to be very careful to how we played this game, because we needed those 3 points. And like I said, I was scared that Carlos Vaca was going to come inside. I was scared that he was going to try and get a goal. Pablo Fornals was now the main creator for this game. And yeah, I just really saw the goal in them. I encourage Valverde to take out Vidal. He did that. He did it good. He read the game perfectly, because he understood that we needed to have the ball as much as possible in the second half. The introduction of Carlos Aleñá for me was one which was very useful. Even though he has some few touches, he had probably about 8 to 10 touches in this game. All of those touches was actually very important for us, because it wasn't horizontally. All of them were vertically. All of them wanted to progress the play, and that is something that he does very, very well. That's why he can play as a right winger. Why he can play as a right midfielder, as a number 10. You can play him as a kind of like a regista. You can play him at different roles, because Carlos Aleñá always have that vision of going forward. And for us in the second half, it was very productive. And certainly he got rewarded with getting that goal. He chipped it over the keeper, even though he got a little bit touch on Asenjo on his, his shoulder. I gotta give kudos to Carlos Aleñá. It was a very good goal, and I enjoyed it very, very much. And yeah, overall, I gotta be honest with you, Barcelona put in a very good performance. Valverde was a little more keen on trying to read the game, and then Dembele was doing amazing in this game. He matured a lot since the PSV game, and obviously since a lot of the criticism he received over the past international break. So I think it's good on him, and now I feel that if Dembele delivers, Valverde is going to deliver, because he understood that Dembele played a very good game against PSV, and you know what? He got rewarded against Villarreal by starting. So I feel that this is a situation that's going to slowly fix itself, and if we continue to see Dembele performing like this, rest assured that the Neymar saga and all of that will disappear. Because that's the main reason why we have all of that, is because Dembele is not doing so good. And that actually leads me perfectly to saying that probably my next video is going to be the Neymar comeback. I already made the video, so I can upload it as soon as possible. But I also want to do kind of like in-depth tactical analysis in this game, because I feel it's important to see why, for instance, Messi, like I said already, wasn't having a good game. I just want to touch a little bit more into the stats, So I could probably do that. I don't know. Do you want that? Leave a like if you want to see a tactical analysis of this game, not just a reaction. And well, that's going to be it for today. See you in the next one. Take care. Ciao.